Your body is your most cherished friend and partner in this life. Dominica, listen carefully. Get yourselves ready for the much anticipated one-day food retreat by experts who know how to help you make your food your medicine so that your medicine does not become your food. You need to register for this one-day food retreat and national event. Come get sound knowledge and solid information. You will learn and get suggestions as to what to eat and what to avoid. At this one-day food retreat, you will learn about a diet that works in harmony with your body, understand remedy, food preparation sessions, teaching you how to eat to live, not live to eat. Your health is your wealth, and your health is your asset. So come get your gut reset, restore, repair, and detox. Call today to register. This one-day food retreat takes place at Ben's Dominica on Sunday, April 13th, 2025 from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Contact 613-9175 or mykitchen2025@gmail.com. Your body will say thank you.
Good evening, TDN listeners, and of course, fans of This Week in Interview. Welcome to another episode of This Week in Interview with your host, Anthony Drago. Tonight, we are talking about your health, your wellness in general, not just your health in terms of medication or your relationship with your doctor, but your diet and your habits, your activities, your choices that you make when it comes to food and so on. That's what we're talking about. And with us, my guest tonight, Miss Anna Winston, is the proprietor of La Pen. Wow, okay. She will tell us the full name. I had it in my notes, and my notes just got but she has she specializes in food, and she seems to take a passion for plant-based eating, plant-based food, and she's hosting a retreat. That's the most important part. She's hosting a retreat on April 13th, and it's entitled Your Food, Your Medicine. And so she's on here tonight to talk to us a little bit more about that, about her business and her whole initiative to help get you folks a little bit more healthy, let's just say more healthy. And so stay tuned. Good night to those of you in Dominica who are listening to us on SBE radio in Toronto. In Dominica is RVR Jams. Welcome to you. Just mentioned in Dominica, I know there was a lot of turmoil going on in Dominica today because there were some folks who were protesting some bills that were being put through Parliament by the government. They didn't feel that the bill reflected their desire and their wishes, and they were trying to protest, and the government was trying to prevent them from protesting. So there was a little bit of turmoil. I hope nobody was seriously hurt in the process. There was some altercation between the public and the police, and of course there were some people from the RSS, the Regional Security Service in Dominica at the time. And so that's another topic, because you guys know that I really like to talk politics and economics. That's a different topic. We have to talk about why Dominica fence is so low that the RSS feels like they can come to Dominica at any time with no consequences. We have to find out how can we get a better dialogue between the people and the government, so that it doesn't have to be so disruptive for people to feel like their interest is being represented, or for the government to feel like folks are not trying to disrupt activities that's happening. But as I said, maybe next week we'll try to get a guest who can come on and we can talk about that a little bit more. But tonight we are talking about your health, and more importantly, your food choices as it relates to your health and your wellness. So stay tuned. Quick little intro break, and when we come back, I will be joined by my guest, Miss Anna Winston, and she's going to tell us about her business. She's going to tell us her passion, and we're going to talk specifically about the upcoming retreat that's taking place in Dominica about eating a plant-based diet and the benefits that it has for your body. Stay tuned. welcome back. Thanks for staying for us through this break. And if you missed the brief intro, my guest tonight is Miss Anna Winston, and she is here to talk to us about her upcoming retreat. She's going to tell us about her business that she's doing as well, who is the official host of the retreat that's taking place in the north of Dominica. And she entitled it Your Food, Your Medicine. And so I'm really curious because we know when we think of Dominica, we think of our food, our homegrown food, our organic food, and all of that. So, without much further delay, I want to wish Anna a very, very warm welcome to this weekend interview. It's good to have you.
Thanks, Tony. It's nice to be on the show with you tonight.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we've known each other for quite a while, but it's been a couple of decades we haven't seen it or spoken to each other. So it's
Yeah,
indeed
it's
a
been a
pleasure
long
to
time.
have you on. Yeah. And so in the meantime, that I don't know if you're always um, that passionate about health or wellness or plant-based diet. So you'll tell us. But
Mhm.
you came back into my circle of attention because of this retreat that you're having. But let's talk initially about your businesses. I slipped the actual name so you can introduce people to that, and let's talk about that whole aspect of your life.
Okay. Well, my name is Anna Winston, as you
Hmm.
indicated, and I am from Dominica, from Goodwill, and I lived in the US for a little while, and then I came back home during COVID. And what happened? I love bread, and I could not get a good bread to eat in Dominica. So I had to make my own bread. And then
Hmm.
I started hearing, why don't you make the bread to sell, and all those things. So I started a little bakery. And in the process of starting the bakery, that was in 2022, um, in the process of starting the bakery, folks started coming to me asking, what can I do for the headache? What can I do for the body pain? What can I do about my acid reflux? What do you have for rubbing? So I said, okay, there's a need for not just good bread, but there's a good need for natural healing. So
Hmm.
this was how that my kitchen, which is a subsidiary of Le Père Creole Bakery, came about. It was
La
a way to
Creole.
show
Okay.
Creole Bakery. Le Père Creole
Hmm.
Père is bread, so Le Père Creole
Hmm.
Bakery. So that's how my
Hmm.
kitchen came about. It was out of the need for introducing people to the benefits of plant-based whole foods.
So you have a bakery. Where is that bakery located?
It's located at Libla Lane at my home,
Okay,
downstairs of my
Libyan. Mm-hmm.
home. Yeah, and I use
Mm-hmm.
only plant-based products. So I use plant-based butter and olive oil. That's all in the breads, and I
Mm-hmm.
do long-term fermentation. So you won't get a bread that was prepared in the morning for the morning. The process starts the night before, and it gets like a 24-hour fermentation, and then the bread is baked, and so you get a good wholesome tasty bread. And the breads are made with nuts and seeds and raisins and all these healthy nice things that when you eat that bread you're going to feel much better than just basically eating a white loaf of bread or plain whole wheat bread.
Right. So where is your bread available?
I bake on order, basically.
Oh, you okay?
So
Okay.
yeah, on to order. So someone places, I am baking every Friday. So my
Mm-hmm.
clients know I bake every Friday. They place orders and then I bake, they pick up. And more it's growing because folks are hearing about it. Everybody wants to eat a good bread. Okay, I'm sure you love a good bread, Tony. It's not as soft as the ones in the shop. When you eat the bread, you feel you have substance. And again, we have to think that a lot of people are gluten intolerant, but it's not that the gluten is bad. It's just their reaction to the gluten, their body's reaction to the gluten. So it's good to have a good bread that's clean. And if we have a plant-based bread, like the ones that I make, people will be able to eat bread, not feel the guilt, and even feel better about having good bread in the diet.
Right, right. So I have a little story around bread. I When
Mm-hmm.
I went to the US to go to school in the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
um, I just couldn't eat the American bread. It was just soft, and
Too
you
soft.
try to eat
Yep.
it, it sticks in the top of your mouth and all
Uh-huh.
kinds of stuff.
Uh,
So I started baking my own bread.
mm-hmm.
Um, because when I was in sixth form, I lived with my sister, and she taught me to bake bread.
Okay, good.
And so for the 3 years that I spent at school in the States, I baked bread almost all that time. And so me and bread have that kind of a relationship.
Relationship,
Um,
right?
yeah. So next time I'm in Dominica, I will sure come and look up your bakery to
Sure,
sample,
sure,
to get a sampling of
sure.
your bread as well. So
Hmm.
if folks want to get bread from you, they do what? Is there a number or something that they call?
Yeah, my number is 613-9175. And also, though, I make, I think, the most delicious cookies in the entire Caribbean or the world, I can say,
All the
because
world.
I can say that because I make some really delicious cookies that are all natural ingredients, and the sugar content is so low that the diabetics can indulge and not feel guilty and not feel bad. So, and they're
All
made
right.
of just wholesome natural products that are fresh, and it's really delicious stuff. Yeah.
So you make bread and you make cookies. So folks
Cookies.
have not only like their weekly supply of bakery stuff. If they have a special occasion or whatever it is, they can also get cookies from you.
Yes, because there are lots of people who order. They order cookies for different
Mm,
occasions, and if they are traveling, they order cookies to go with. And because it's plant based, also everything I do is plant based, one hundred
mm-hmm,
percent. So because it's plant based, it has that added texture, that added flavor, that added oomph to it.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So when you're done eating a cookie, you can say, "Okay, wow, this was really good." And while you're eating, you'll be looking at it and saying, "Okay, really, okay, yeah."
So you get that reaction. You get that reaction often.
All
That
the time,
that
all the time,
yeah,
all the time.
that
Yeah,
is
people
good
call
for you. It's
me.
not only good for you; it tastes delicious.
It tastes good. People call me and say, "Anna, what did you put in that? Can I have? Do you have any more?" And I have to say, "No, I just sold my last four." But yeah, people are really excited about it. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. And so, folks, there you have it. Miss Anna, she has her bakery on Libna Lane, but you can call and place your order and pick them up. So it's personalized and handmade and specially made for you. It's not mass produced like that. So great. So that is the bakery part of it. And of course, you said that folks would come to get their bread, but to get into conversations about other disease or ailments that they have and ask you if you know what is good for heartburn or whatever it is. How comes? I mean, did you have a reputation as somebody who knows herbs, or how did that happen?
Okay, well, I started eating. I went plant based about 20 to fully plant based, right? No, all dropped all animal products in
Mm,
2022. And so when someone would come to my home to purchase bread, I would start a conversation. Okay, I
mm,
would ask, "What do you eat?" If someone would say, "Oh, my leg is hurting," what do you rub with? What foods are you eating? Okay, and the conversation would lead to what can I do? What can I do for the pain in my leg? What can I do for the acid reflux? What can I do because my hair is dropping? What can I do because I can't sleep? Okay. And my thing went
mm.
back to it's your diet. It has to do with what you eat. Right. So then I
Okay.
started going to my kitchen. That's where my kitchen came about. I would be at home, and by 9, 10, 11 o'clock, I'll be in my kitchen developing tastes and flavors and putting different plant products together. And I'll be coming up with different foods. I would do little oil infusions because I only use coconut oil and olive oil, and most of coconut because coconut is cheaper for us, right? Because we have an abundance of coconut in Dominica. So then I started making infusions and giving to my mother's friends because my mother is 80, going to be 81.
Mm.
So the
Oh,
seniors, they have these pains, right? So I started making infusions and giving to her friends, and then I would make the best mac and cheese using plants. Well, so you could have a mac and cheese if you don't need any animal products. You could have a good mac and cheese. And I would also tell folks, okay, what are you drinking? Do you drink this? Do you drink that? What are you drinking at night? What time are you eating? What time are you breaking your fast? And through these conversations, people would start asking, what can I do? What can I eat? So then I decided, well, it's time to start my kitchen, because our
Mhm.
kitchen is our pharmacy, right?
It
Supposed
should
to be
be.
our pharmacy. Yes.
It should be right, and so that's how it came about. You make great bread, you make great cookies, and then from you becoming plant based, you took an interest. So
Yes.
is it that you see from your observations that a diet that is plant based seems to provide some relief to some people who have pains and aches and stiffness and that sort of thing?
Yes, not just seem to, Tony, it does. Okay.
It does. Okay.
Because because what happens is plants have a special energy, right? And
Hmm.
if we're eating living things, and we have to eat closer to the source, right? So for example, if you were to go and harvest a cucumber from your yard, I would be happy if I saw you, just if it's your own cucumbers, just washing, chopping, adding a few little bits and pieces here and eating. Okay, instead
Hmm.
of putting this cucumber in a blender and drinking a smoothie, right? As close to the source as possible. So when folks, I am using myself as an example. I am a walker. I walk every day, and when I get home, to be able to not have all this pain from walking, I use foods that are rich in magnesium, right? So I use avocados, I use pumpkin seeds, and this makes me feel better. And I know that, for example, teas. If you have someone who has a skin ailment, right? If they drink neem tea instead of going to the pharmacy and getting a rub, because if we use the plants, we are not just treating the symptoms. Okay, we are treating the whole body. We are getting rid of the disease. So it's
Hmm.
better if we go plant based, and we just feed ourselves with these healthy plants than just treating the symptoms that the pharmaceutical medications do.
And also, as you said, your mom is 80, 81. It seems as though meat or animal products give our body a harder time to process, right? And
Yeah,
so as you get
yes.
older and your body's capacity to manage to handle food diminishes, plant-based is easier on the system. Is that what it is?
Yes, it's easier to digest. Okay, your
Mm-hmm.
body don't have to work that hard. Okay, and so once if you and again, as you're talking about being 80 years old, these individuals are more sedimentary. They don't move a lot, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if they are getting up in the morning and they are having like two slices of white bread and some sausages and some hot chocolate with a lot of sugar, okay, and all these things. And then compared to the person who would have a little salad, some bush tea, what bush tea we used to have, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
basilic, or peppermint, all these things. And then they go into their yards, they're going to feel more energized, because that in itself gives you more energy. Your cells are telling you, oh, thank you so much. I can now take that food you have given me, and I can take that and give you the energy you need to move. But if we have too much heavy foods, if we have too much highly processed foods again, right? Because by the time you take these foods and you have broken them down so much, it gives our body no more chance to break down, because everything has been done already for it. So it just stays in the system, and then it passes out when it's ready. But if you do plant-based, plants are like the shovel that if you have snow or you have garbage in the gutter, right? And you are using the shovel. The plants are the shovel, and they shovel out, they go through your colon, they shovel out all the waste that's there. But if you use the animal products, they're just going to sit there and they're going to wait for the plants to get out of your body. So animal products are not the best. The plants are the way to go.
Yeah, and also animal products are likely to have more additives, maybe hormones that's added, or sometimes there's more of an investment to get them to grow faster, to grow bigger, and so your body has to deal with those toxins as well. So there's more to eliminate from your body.
Yes, and I could give you an example of this. The chickens nowadays, right? They take 6 weeks to be ready from the time they're born to your table. 6 weeks. Anytime these chickens they're past 6 weeks, they start getting hard, right? There has to be a reason.
Right.
If you look at how the chickens are grown, these little chicks are small, you see they're held up and they're given the antibiotics. Now, when these chicks are given the antibiotics and we eat them, what happens to the body? You become antibiotic resistant because you have
Right.
it flowing through the system so much, and then it takes more to get you better if you become ill. But if you're on a plant-based diet, right? You could be on a plant-based diet and you for some reason you catch a cold, and the person who is on a regular diet, it will take them maybe a week or two to get over the cold. You might be 2 days, 1 day, 3 days, not even feel the effects.
Right. Right. I mean, I'm not fully plant-based, but I am I really watch what I eat a lot, and I still do a lot of teas. I do the bay leaf and the guava leaf and all of those
Mm-hmm.
teas. And yeah, on Sunday I started feeling the effects of a cold. I had a bad
Mm-hmm.
day on Monday, Tuesday. I was Today I'm fine.
Good.
And I attribute that really to the fact that I really pay attention to that. I do things deliberately for my health. And so I was very excited when I heard that this is something that you were tackling, because in Dominica, where we have such fertile soil, we have so much rain, our air is still relatively clean because we have very few industry. I think we can grow some of the healthiest plants. And so that, I think, is one of the resources that the country has that we have to pay more attention to. And so I was super, super excited when I heard that you were going to do the retreat. So we'll take a break at the bottom of the hour, but leading up to the break, let's start to talk about this retreat that is coming up. What was the inspiration for it, and what do you hope to achieve from the retreat?
Okay. The inspiration. Again, I would meet a lot of people. Okay, and I'm getting stories. Oh, I am pre-diabetic. Do you know my blood pressure was 172 over 100? Do you know that they amputated my cousin's two toes? Do you know that Mr. This and that? So when I started hearing that and people were asking me what do I drink? What do I eat? I said, listen, if we have to live a better life in Dominica, if we need to be able to be healthy and grow healthy, right? Grow old healthy, we need to go back to a garden. We need to go back to a kitchen. So I started thinking, listen, my kitchen is my pharmacy, right? You go into your kitchen and you should be taking things from your kitchen to make you better. So I wanted to share the idea and share the make build awareness in Dominica that we need to go back to eating more plants because as you said previously, Dominica is so rich in plants, in natural plants. You can just go into your yard and you get all these plants that you could use, right? And again, you don't necessarily have to use the plants the leaves as a tea. You will chop up the leaves and put in your salad, in your soups, in your stews. So that was one of the reasons, the main reason that I wanted to do the retreat, to bring people together, to teach them how they should take plants and let it become their medicine. Because if they don't do that, eventually the medicine is going to be their food.
Yeah, you're going to be taking so much medicine that it feel like a it feel like a meal, right?
Yes, and not just that, Tony, because remember, if you are ill, right, you are diabetic and you're given a medication, it takes care of the symptoms. But that medication have a side effect. You're going to be placed under the medication for that side effect. And it is a ripple effect. If you were to go
Right.
to the plants, you eat the plants, you feel better.
That's true. Because the doctors say if you're diabetic, that automatically puts you at risk for high cholesterol. So they give you a
Yes,
medication for high cholesterol,
for high
and then the
cholesterol,
medication
yes.
for high cholesterol puts you at risk
Gives you
for
for heart attacks.
heart disease. So they give you
Good, and
something to
then a
protect you from
medication
heart
for
disease,
that.
and
Yeah,
then
and
that
then it's
causes your hypertension, and it just goes on and on and on.
yeah, and
Yeah,
by the time you check, you're on like 15 medications, right?
right. Yeah, and it's a circle that never closes. It's just a chain
Yeah.
that goes on and on and on,
Yeah.
and then you still don't have the quality of life that you should have. We
Hmm.
see so many young people it's not accidental that we see so many young people, um, passing on. Sooner, when we grew up in an environment where we're so proud, we used to proudly proclaim that Dominica has what the highest per capita of centenarians and people who live to be 100, but we hardly have any new people. It seems I don't know when was the last census, but what would be the life expectancy of Dominicans nowadays? I don't think it would be close to 100.
It would not be, because I'll tell you, Tony, when you wake up in the morning, if you were to take a walk to Roseau, right? Use Roseau as an example. There are so many little stalls selling fried bakes and tuna fish and cheese and corned beef and whatever, smoked herring. All the juices are so sweet. Everything has a lot of salt, and they're using the corn oil, the canola oil, all these oils. What happens? Then these young people go into the office and they sit down. What happens? That becomes fat, right?
Mhm.
Everybody's pre-diabetic, everybody's diabetic, hypertensive. So if we can go back to eating plants, more plants, we are going to see all of this, actually disappear in Dominica. And Dominica is an ideal place to be plant-based, because you could get a lot of things for free, because everything is just growing. Everything grows in Dominica.
Right. And it doesn't have to be a big fancy, like I know some people they make sorrel and they throw the seeds out in the yard, and that is the next crop for
Hmm.
sorrel for the next sorrel season. But also in terms of folks may not recognize or realize the value in the foods. And so do you find yourself doing some of that education as well? Like people might say, okay, they eat a piece of dashing or they eat a piece of plantain, and they just see it as that. But sometimes they don't really understand, so they think that a piece of dashing is equivalent to a spoon of rice, for example.
Well, yes, I do, because I also draw the illustration. I say, okay, listen to this. You wake up in the morning and you have two sets of bacteria in your gut, right? You have the good and the bad, and they're all waiting to see what you feed them. So you, Tony, you wake up and you have a nice cup of lemon water, and then you have a banana and a salad, and then you go to work. And I wake up and I have a white bread, some sausages, and some eggs, right? Your good bacteria is going to say, thank you very much, Tony, because you have fed me well. And they're up, they're ready for the day, and they're waiting for what you're going to feed them again. So what's going to happen? You're going to feel to eat more plants. Me, on the other hand, in 1 2 hours later, I'm going to be hungry, right? And then because the bad bacteria have been fed, and then they're saying, okay, feed me again. So what I tell people is that if you want to eat starch, eat the complex carbohydrates. Eat a slice of dasheen. Eat plantains. You know what we call the cocoy, right? Some people call it
Hmm.
macaboo. Eat the cocoy.
So we will call
Okay,
it
if you want,
blogger. Hmm.
good. You eat that instead of eating some bakes and saltfish and something like that over there, right? And so I tell people it's not just a starch. There's starch and there's starch. If you want to eat something that's starchy, if you want carbohydrates, I would prefer that you, for Dominica standard, you go to the dasheen, the yam, the cocoa, the breadfruit. You can eat some brown rice or you can eat some rice, but I think the plants will give you a better deal. It will sustain you more. Okay, so I teach that if we are eating foods, we have to count, not calories. Okay, because if you're counting calories, you'll never succeed. But you have to count the nutrition value, the nutritional
Value.
value of food,
Hmm.
and what it's
Hmm.
going to bring
Hmm.
to your body. Because you are telling your body how to react. Whatever you eat tells your body what to do. And your body is just waiting for the right environment to heal itself. For example, if you have a toothache, right? If you decide to fast it out, you don't need to go buy a paracetamol in the pharmacy to get rid of your toothache. You fast, and you're going to give your body a chance to heal. Or you can go outside of your house and get your paracetamol leaves. You steep that and you drink it, sends you to sleep. When you wake up, your toothache is gone. So the nutritional value of everything we have around us is something that I always push. Okay, you can use this instead of going to the pharmacy and buying something that's going to even give you worse side effects than what you're having.
Awesome. I like how this is going. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, get a word from our sponsors. When we come back, we're going to talk about the retreat a little bit more detail, invite folks, encourage them, let them know where they can actually go to register for the retreat. We'll give them some details. You'll maybe flow through some of the specific topics that will be covered, and then we're going to lay out maybe I mean, we don't have a lot of time, but maybe lay out, because you spoke about the choice of food, you spoke about fasting, you spoke about when do you break your fast. You mentioned all of those things in the conversation. And so maybe one of the things we can give to our audience tonight is maybe like an overall sketch of what a healthy habit or healthy lifestyle can be. And of course, that should whet their appetite, and they can come to the retreat where they can get even more details, and they can have you there one-on-one to really break it down for them, and hopefully to be able to customize for each person based on their own concerns of where they are and that sort of thing. So let's take a quick break, folks. My guest tonight is Miss Anna Winston. She's the proprietor of La Pain Creole Bakery, where she makes specialized bread. You place your order and she makes it especially for you, and you can pick it up. She also says that she has the best tasting cookies and the most healthy cookies in the world, she said. So we'll encourage you to go sample that as well. But let's hear from our sponsors. And when we come back, we will talk about the retreat that she has coming up, where she seems to be on a mission to really help Dominicans transform back to their soil, close to the soil, their roots, as Chubby and the Midnight Groover says, bring back the milk and honey. She's not pushing milk because at least not in the form that we think of it, because she's pushing plant-based, but the same sense of going back to eating what we grow, getting your food as close to where it was grown and the source as possible, because that seems to be healthier. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Presented by
Your body is your most cherished friend and partner in this life. Dominica, listen carefully. Get yourselves ready for the much anticipated one-day food retreat by experts who know how to help you make your food your medicine, so that your medicine does not become your food. You need to register for this one-day food retreat and national event. Come get sound knowledge and solid information. You will learn and get suggestions as to what to eat and what to avoid. At this one-day food retreat, you will learn about a diet that works in harmony with your body, understand remedies, food preparation sessions, teaching you how to eat to live, not live to eat. Your health is your wealth, and your health is your asset. So come get your gut reset, restore, repair, and detox. Call today to register. This one-day food retreat takes place at Ben's Dominica on Sunday, April 13th, 2025, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Contact 613-9175 or mykitchen2025@gmail.com. Your body will say thank you.
People say I've got a great smile. Well, I have to say, this is all thanks to the professional team at Beacon Dental Group right here in Dorchester, Massachusetts. I've got world-class dental care. Beacon Dental Group has expert and caring staff dedicated to providing the most advanced and satisfactory treatment in all aspects of oral health. Their services are designed to meet your needs and give you a perfect smile, too. General checkups, cosmetic surgery, Gemini laser service, and advanced procedures, all in a state-of-the-art facility. Call or visit Beacon Dental Group today, 1026 Blue Hill Avenue, Dorchester, Massachusetts, or call 617-282-2146 for a smile that lights the world.
How much Dominican history do you know? Want to learn some fun facts? We have a great and fun way to test your knowledge and learn more about our history. Get your copy of Dominic Anu, Dominica in Puzzle. Fun for the whole family. Available now on Amazon.com, Visit pushpast10.com to learn more. Email us at dominicainpuzzle@gmail.com or call 877-698-9894.
A smart house run by a vengeful AI, a mute witness to an act of unspeakable evil. A breadfruit thief is haunted. A young man unwittingly creates a god. Giant crapos terrorize a community. A witch seeks revenge on her neighbors, and much more. The Piton Noir Writing Collective is thrilled to announce the release of the third book in their acclaimed anthology series, The Flying Crapo. Flying Crapo, Heroes and Monsters. Now available for purchase on Amazon.com. Get your copy today and embark on a journey filled with heroes, monsters, and the magic of the Caribbean.
Get ready for an electrifying thriller. A fearless New York attorney takes on corrupt corporate giants fighting for the powerless. Can this seasoned attorney and his team take down a monstrous company and its powerful leader? What will be the final verdict? What price will our heroes pay? Find out as you turn the pages of The Trust by Sam George. Get your copy of The Trust today from Amazon.com.
Welcome back, folks. Thanks for staying with us through the break, and thank you to our sponsors for supporting us and to keep supporting us. Tonight we're talking to Miss Anna Winston. She is the proprietor of Lapin Creole Bakery on Lebanon Lane in Goodwill, and we're happy to have her because on this weekend interview we love to talk about health. This is one of our topics where we encourage folks to pay attention and be responsible for your health. You cannot depend on your doctor to be responsible for your health. The more aware you are of your health, is the better off you'll be when you do have to go in to talk to your doctor. And so, those of you who are locked in, if you're listening to us on Facebook, on This Weekend Interview Facebook page, or on TDN Radio Facebook page, welcome to you. Also on Instagram, on those of you who don't do Facebook, we also are on tdnradio.net and tdntv.net. We are also on YouTube as well. And so some of the comments that we're getting is folks are really appreciating this conversation. They say it's very informative. They're tuned in. Say that they have some the good response to any new attendees. Someone says longevity. So yeah, that's what we're talking about. Not just living longer, but living longer with a quality of life. It doesn't make sense if you're going to live to be 95 if from the time you're 80 you have arthritis, you cannot stand, you cannot do anything for yourself. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about extending your life, but extending your life quality at the same time. So you can still walk, you can still socialize with your friends, you can still enjoy a good meal, you can enjoy a good laugh, and all of that. And so, folks, thank you so much for the participation. We really appreciate you chiming in, and let's see if we can help to motivate you to just be more in charge and more deliberate about what you eat. And so I wanted to start this second session with just reading what Anna sent me as the mission. She says, our mission at My Kitchen is to cultivate a profound awareness of the transformative power of whole foods, emphasizing the principle that foods should serve as medicine, precluding the necessity for medicine to become our sustenance. We are dedicated to producing plant-based foods in their purest forms, ensuring that every product harmonizes with nature's original design. Through comprehensive coaching, education, we empower individuals to make informed dietary choices that foster health and prevent diseases. I want to repeat that foods that that will empower individuals to make informed choices that will foster health and prevent diseases. Our ultimate goal is to inspire a global movement towards mindful eating. And so, very noble, Anna. I'm not sure where did the passion come from. I know you said you became the accidental baker, and then that led you into this role of really finding a lot of folks who could benefit from the knowledge that you were developing about using herbs and their choices of foods and so on. But is that something that you were always passionate about?
Well, I one of the things about me is that I have a very acute sense of taste. Okay.
Mm,
And I
mm,
there's a joke. I have a sister who was a nurse and she would bake and I don't eat butter. And she did use a little bit of butter and I would go to her home and I would taste and I would say, you use butter, right? She'd say, how do you know? I said, because I know. Right. So I have a very acute sense of taste. And so I always wanted something to taste better. I always wanted something to taste different. Right. And
mm,
then I remember when I went to university in the US and I took an economics class and we had a novel instead of a textbook and they spoke about how the poultry industry and the meat industry. And that the day that I read this book, I went cold turkey. I never ate any meat anymore. No meat, no
it was
chicken, no
that bad.
fish still, right? I was just cold turkey, nothing. I could not eat another piece of chicken. And so I started
Wow.
eating more plants and then I started feel and you know everybody thinks that plant-based has to be bland, right? So I had to play with the food. I had to tweak the foods and put flavor and to spices. So I would learn about Indian spices and all these things. And then I said, no, food is only good if you share it, right? If you have a nice plate of soup and you're going to tell yourself, "Oh, this is so nice," but if you would share with somebody else, they can like share the flavor and say, "Wow!" And then you have a group, enjoying everything. So that led into cooking and sharing with others. And I saw that people love my food, and so I'm like, okay, if it's food that's going to make you feel better, I may as well prepare it and let people feel better and feel healthy. And I know that I'll give you an example. I'll give you one story, Tony, quickly. I had a family member who was iron deficient, right? He was anemic and he didn't know. He thought he had heart disease. And he went to the doctor and he said, look, after all the tests were run, they said you are iron deficient. And they gave him medication, but he was feeling so bad after he felt so terrible. So he called me and he said, I am ill. I asked what? He said, I have no iron, iron, right? I said, okay, hold
Mhm.
on. I'm going home. I'm coming back. And came home and I went into my yard, moringa, spinach, everything from my yard. I went up to my kitchen. I cooked this beautiful meal. And when I brought it to him, he ate. One day later, I went back to check. I went to bring breakfast. And I asked, how did you feel yesterday when you had that food? He said, listen, I don't know how I felt outside, but I know inside I felt better, right? In 5 days, this guy was up and about walking. And a friend of mine asked me, is this your uncle who was sick? I'm like, yeah. He's like, really? He didn't look like the person who was sick a few weeks before, a few days
Mm,
before. And so
mm.
when I saw that, I said, listen, we can use the food that we grow. We can use plants to feel better. We don't, and again, medication is so expensive. And sometimes I would pass around and I see people at the pharmacy and they would be like, can you give me half of my dose? Can you give me half of my prescription because I can't afford? And I'm thinking to myself, you need to take that money and go to the market and buy half of your medication from a farmer, right? And you
Right.
will you will feel better. So my thing, I was like, I need to tell people, I need to go out and tell people, tell seniors, and I am very passionate about seniors because I have a senior mother. I'm very passionate. I hate to hear that the senior has chronic pain. There is no need. Chronic pain is not normal. Okay, even for us as we are growing older,
At
chronic
any
pain,
age, right?
at
At
any age,
any age.
chronic pain. If there's chronic pain, there is your body is telling you something, and you can use your food to answer that question. You can use your food. You can use your food to feel better. So That's where the passion came from. I think that people need to just go out and eat healthy. And you know, when you eat plant-based, you can eat so much and still feel good, right? You can eat a
Right.
lot of food. I'm telling you, because I remember I took back a vacation with my family and we went to eat out at the night, right? And I was the only real 100% plant-based person. I ate the most food, right?
Right.
But I ate the most good food, right?
Right.
So you can eat a lot. So if you want to eat a lot, you can still eat a lot of plants. Yeah.
I love that story because it's a perfect example of your food being your medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Because folks hear it and they're like, yeah, 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 that vegetarian. But you are actually sharing experiences where somebody was not feeling well, and
Mm-hmm.
just from changing or introducing them to a new type of eating, um,
Yeah.
they they felt better. So their food actually was the medicine that made them feel better. What do you say to folks that say, yeah, but it's so expensive to eat good, it's so well, and it's so much trouble to prepare the food? What do you say to
Well,
that?
Well, I'll tell you, it's not really expensive because I think what I would tell folks is eat what is in season. Okay? Eat what
Right,
is in season. If you decide to eat what is in season, well, like now there is a lot of green papaya. I love I love Christophane, right? Chayote. But because it's more expensive, now I eat the green papaya. Eat what is in season and it's not going to be
right,
expensive. Then I always lament, oh, I'm always in the kitchen. I spend like an hour in the kitchen cooking, right? But when I'm done eating, I feel so much better. I feel lighter, right? I feel so light. I don't have, this thing they call niggeritis, which I don't like to say that, but we say, oh, after we eat, we always feel sleepy. When you're plant-based, you don't feel sleepy after you have eaten. You feel more energized, right?
right,
You can go out and be more productive after you have eaten. So there's a big difference. And I'll tell you another good thing, another plus to being plant-based. Solid waste, you hardly have any, right?
right.
When I'm done cooking in my kitchen, most of my waste goes to compost pile. I hardly have any solid waste to put on by the road for garbage collection.
Right, because there's less packaging and less, yeah.
Yeah.
So so that I like, because I don't believe it is true that eating plant-based is more expensive. I think it's expensive for people who vegetarian but trying to
Mm-hmm.
find substitutes. So
Uh,
somebody is saying I don't eat meat, but they go and they get a fake burger, or they get a plant-based buffalo wings, or a
wait,
plant-based,
yeah.
and then that is expensive. But I don't see why you would want to stop eating plant-based but still want to feel like you're eating a burger or sausage or this, and that's when it becomes expensive, in my opinion.
Yes, if I may add something, right? I'm thinking to myself, if you don't eat eggs, why do you want just like egg? If you don't eat chicken,
Exactly,
right?
right.
You don't have to. And again, when we see people who say they are vegans, right? Let's say if we have vegans and we go to the supermarket and we're buying all this packaged stuff in the fridge, these things are so highly processed, right? Sometimes you don't even know what the ingredients are. And then that in itself makes you sick. High
Right.
content of salt, high content of sugar, and high content of oil.
Flavoring to make it taste like, what's the point,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
And so that, I think, is where the myth has to get busted, that to say that it's expensive because you used to go to the supermarket to buy whatever. Now you go into the
Mhm.
supermarket and looking for the substitute. You
Substitute.
used to go to the supermarket to buy soda, and they said don't drink soda, so you go to the supermarket and think you have to go buy juice from the supermarket.
And
But
energy
but the
juice. Mhm.
right, and
Yeah.
so that's why I think the retreat that you're having, those types of activities, so important, because there's so much misinformation around that that type of education that is required to make people feel comfortable that they can
Mhm.
successfully go plant-based. So
Plant
let's talk.
based.
Let's spend some time talking about the retreat. Tell people what they can expect.
Okay, so on April 13th, we're going to have a splendid retreat in the village of Benz. You're asking why Benz? Benz is so beautiful. I hadn't really known Benz that well. When I was looking for a place and I discovered Benz, I'm like, okay, this is the place I want people to experience, right? So you're coming to the retreat. We start at 6 a.m. And when you get to the retreat, we welcome you. And one of the most important things we're going to do is help you break your fast. Okay, breakfast, help you break your fast. We're going to give you a nourishing, a hydrating experience. We'll have coconut water, lemon water, your ginger and turmeric shot, all these healthy, delicious drinks. Then we give you a chance to go and explore. You would either exercise, we have bodies in motion because you know a body in motion stays in motion, right? And we have
Right.
praise and worship. We have yoga, okay, and we have a nice walk through Ben's, right? And Ben's has a pool called the Shodia Pool. We are going just to the entrance of that. Then when you return to the retreat site, you're going to have a 100% whole foods plant-based breakfast. Everything will be from plants, as close to the original source as ever, right? So it won't be highly processed. We use no package, no bottle, no boxes, no cans, especially no cans and bottles. Nothing from a can, nothing from a bottle. Coconut milk,
Mm-hmm.
right there. Everything. The hot cocoa is going to be made right there, roasted, ground, made right there on site. Right. After that, we're giving you a chance to just, relax and get your thoughts together, and you will get a chance to do a journal entry. It's going to talk about your journey to the retreat and what you expect to get from the retreat. This is your personal time. Then, when we are done with this session, we have an hour of workshops. I'm going to lead one called pre fermentation bread making. Okay. Then we have this young lady who has herbal harmony. She's going to talk about using tea to help to heal the body. Then we
Mm-hmm.
have Jason Robin, who is a herbalist. He's going to talk about using herbs and oil for infusion. So we're going to have our base as coconut oil, and we're going to teach you how to infuse that oil with rosemary, turmeric, all these wonderful herbs that you can either drink or you can use to rub or put in your food. And then we have Emma Esprit. She does yoga. She's going to talk about inflammation because she does Ayurveda. That is the ancient Indian medication, holistic medicine. She's going to talk about inflammation because we know that folks say, oh, this person has inflammation, it is bad. But we're going to teach you that if your body is inflamed, it's your body telling you something is going on. It's your body
Right.
telling you, please deal with me, right? So we're going to teach you about that. And then we're going to go into our lunch after these sessions. And the lunch is going to be a delectable feast. Everything plant-based. Beans and soups and broths and salads and the colors of the rainbow, everything wonderful, delicious things. Then we give you another break, and then we're going to go into our final session where we're going to really go in depth into using plants as your medicine so that it doesn't be so that you don't have to use medicine as your food, right? So I am going to deliver a special topic that's going to be oils, salt, and sugar, friend or foe. You have to decide what
Right.
you're going to do about these three things. Are they your friends or your foe? And I'll tell you just a little snippet. You should make them your friend because you can more have a good relationship with your friend than your foe. You just have to know the boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Right.
And then we're going to have Miss Shillingford is going to come back and tell us how we can sip our way back to wellness, right? And then we're going to have Mr. Robin telling us about the different medications you can use for different ailments, the hypertension, your gout, your acid reflux, which is a big thing in Dominica now, acid reflux, your diabetes, all these things, right? All these diseases, especially the non-communicable diseases that's rampant in Dominica. We need to take this by the collar and get rid of it, right? So we need to deal with that. And then to end our day, we're going to go into storytelling, and we're going to end with a mindfulness meditation. We're going to bring you back from where we took you, and we're going to let you reflect on what you have learned for the day, and you will decide what you're going to do with that information. And something I forgot to list is that during our intermission session, we're going to have one-on-one coaching. Okay, one-on-one coaching where we will talk to you. We can come and discuss with us what your ailments are. We'll help you. And we also have a young
Mhm.
lady, Colette Gordon. She does massage, and she's going to offer massages at the event. So we have a whole packed day of fun, relaxation, togetherness, socializing, learning to heal ourselves, and we're going to start healing ourselves from the inside out. Okay, we're going to go
And it's
inside and start healing.
open to both men and women.
Men and women. The men need to come because I'm telling you, Tony, I am seeing a lot of men who just say, oh, think that women are the ones who have to be healthy, right? And everybody is walking around eating too much bakes and saltfish and cheese and all these things. We need to come back and eat our plants. Okay, come back,
Mhm.
eat our plants and feel better. Everybody is complaining about a headache, about being sick, about this and that, but they're not thinking about what they're putting in their body. That's what they're getting out.
Right. That sounds like a complete day. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you have it in bands, so that means you're taking people away from their regular um, daily activities, so they can really focus on themselves that
Yes, you
day.
come.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You're going to
And so
come and you're going to be
it's
out of
almost
your.
I was expecting to hear you say when people come, you're going to have a bag where everybody can put their cell phone into that bag.
Well, this is going to happen because we're not going to take the cell phone, but my option is you're going to put your phone on silent and you're going to give your contact person our phone number. We have one person who's going to. So if somebody needs to contact you, right,
Right.
for any emergency, they will contact someone at the retreat, and then that person can come to get you and then deal with you. But everybody should have their phone silent, just silent, and we're just going to focus on healing ourselves. And it's not, and I want to say something, it's not just us people who are ill. The retreat is for everyone because you don't want to wait until you're ill to start doing well, right? You have to
That's
you
what
have to be preventative.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds not. It's not. Yeah. If you're battling or concerned about something in particular, definitely you could benefit.
Hmm.
But it also sounds like a place and an event for somebody who values themselves.
Hmm.
All week you're running after taking care of your family, your children, your job, and whatever you've been doing this all year, and
Hmm.
so this is a time to come back and show appreciation for the one body, one life that you have. That's
Hmm.
what it sounded like to me, because
That's what
and
is.
and
That's what it is.
that's what it is, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
really give them the opportunity to slow down. And I like that you start by setting an expectation,
Hmm.
and then at the end, you have a chance to evaluate. This is what
To
I
reflect.
expected, and this
Yeah.
is what I got. Did it super? Did it match it? Did it surpass it? That sort of
Hmm.
thing. Sounds like an exciting event. And
It
as
will
you
be.
said, Bend is beautiful. It's on a high elevation, so you get a good view. You will see. I think you can see Mont Diablo in the distance, and
Yes, you see the
yeah,
mountains, you see the sea, you see it's so beautiful there. It's really
it's a
nice.
beautiful
It's
place.
it's really
Mhm.
nice. It's really beautiful, and the breeze, everything, and so much greenery. So from the time you get into this atmosphere, it's just gonna relax your mind, body, and soul, and open up you can just open up yourself to enjoying whatever is gonna come for the retreat. Hmm?
That's awesome. That's incredible. It actually brings Dominicans, and I hope maybe if you not from Dominica, but you can make it, you're welcome. But you
Hmm.
have a real appreciation for the beautiful things that Dominica has to offer. The clean air, the coolness, the greenery, but also the food. And
The
so
phone.
as, as we bring the conversation to a close, I said we were going to try to just paint a broad frame around
Mm.
a healthy lifestyle that should result in alleviation of any ailments or disease that somebody has, but also a maintenance, even an enhancement of the quality of life. So let's start. Let's start from the night before. What people do, what people should be doing before they go to bed. Take it all the way to when they wake up, back to where they're getting ready to go to bed the next day. What
Okay, good.
should that look like? Hmm.
Okay, so I would advise that you have to decide on when you're going to stop eating. So I would say, because of the way we are so busy nowadays, by 6:30, 7 o'clock, this should be your last meal, a light meal. Okay,
Okay.
very light
Hmm.
meal. So then you're going to go into your fasting period. And from 7, let's say from 7 to 7 in the morning, the next morning, that's going to be 12 hours at least, right?
Hmm.
12 hours. And so then you could decide to break your fast. When you're breaking your fast, you have to be cognizant of what you're taking in. So you're going to break your fast with something that's going to be make the bacteria, the healthy bacteria in the stomach, very happy. So I would suggest you do some lemon water, you do some coconut water with lemon, or something like that, the healthy drink, and nothing with sugar. Then you could wait 1 hour after, and you're gonna have your real breakfast. And I would advise you to have plants. You could have a salad, you could have some breadfruit, you could have some plantains, you could have nothing fried. Let's just keep away from the fried for a little bit, right? Some lentils, some beans, but eat what you love. If you love pink beans more than lentils, you eat that, right? So you could have that
Right.
heavy thing in the morning, and then you are going to go to work or go about your daily life. So you have this. You could wait a little while to drink. Okay, like 1 hour after you have eaten your drink, so give your stomach a chance to digest that food, and then maybe like 6 hours later, you decide when you're going to have your lunch. You can have your lunch at 1 or 2. After you have had your lunch at 1 or 2, you can decide to stop eating for that day, or you can decide at 6 p.m. again or 7 p.m. I'm going to have a dinner, but it's going to be a light dinner. So you could have a broth, you could have a soup, you could have a salad. There's nothing wrong in having 2 salads a day, right? So you could
Right.
have these things. But I would not suggest anything starchy or high or like complex carbohydrates at that time. You should have very light. And if you keep doing that over time, if it becomes a lifestyle, you're going to find yourself being more able to manage it, and you're going to start seeing yourself losing, because a lot of people are trying to lose weight but they don't know how. But they have to understand, losing weight is about eating. That eating and other, there are other things, but the main thing is about eating. So if you can
Right.
do that, and you have a pattern of when you're going to stop eating in the night before and when you're going to break your fast, give yourself 12 hours before you break your fast. Breakfast is called breakfast, right? So your body
Right.
has already gone through its healing process, digestion. You get up, you have some nice lemon water, make your stomach, your stomach alkaline again, and and then you start eating a healthy breakfast. Eat what you love, plants, eat whatever you love. You can eat fruits. I always say eat what you love, because if you don't eat what you love, you will fall off the wagon and go back to eat what you like, right?
Right.
And what is
Hmm.
not good. And then you go on and you go on like that. And then you keep doing the pattern, and then you can change. You can do intermittent fasting. Sometimes you can have 2 meals of the day, one at maybe, like for me, my first meal is at 12. My first meal is at 12 noon, and then my
Hmm.
other meal is at like maybe 5, 4, 5 or 6 o'clock, and then I'm done. I'm done till the
Right.
next day, right? And it has become a habit, so much so that my body doesn't even need the food at 9, 10, 11. Sometimes I stop eating
Right.
at 2. It depends on what I'm doing, but then the cycle begins again. Yeah.
Right. And your body really appreciates it. So when you say weight loss really comes from what you eat, it's not so much about counting calories. It's
No,
about
no.
what you eat and when you eat it.
And when, yeah, because if you have to count calories, you're never going to succeed.
You never
Who wants to
succeed.
2,000? I don't even know how much calories I need to be healthy. I don't count that.
Exactly.
I know what food I need, right? And I eat a lot of
Hmm.
beans. I eat a lot. For example, I'll give you an example, Tony. If you're always working out and you're tired, right? What I would suggest, instead of taking an energy drink after you're done, go go find foods that are high in magnesium, right? Pumpkin seeds, avocados, all these things. They're high in
Right.
magnesium, and eat them. They're going to relax your body. Instead of going to buy an energy drink in the store, like a Red Bull or whatever they call them, 5 hour drink. These won't do anything. They're gonna crash you. But these magnesium food, high rich foods, they're gonna just
Right.
keep you going. Yeah.
Awesome. So how do people register? Well, before we do that, somebody was asking, is the retreat open to seniors?
Once you're 18 and older, it's open to you. Okay. If
But
someone is
18,
16, 16 with the permission of the parents. Okay, 14, 15, 16 with the permission of the parents. Because what we are going to be doing is eating healthy, doing talking about healthy attitudes and habits. So once the permission of the parents, but 18 and older, you're welcome to come, male or female,
right,
anybody. Yeah.
right. And especially maybe folks who may have a little bit of a trouble with mobility, once they can get there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's in Benz. Is transportation available? Are people going to come at the same time, or do they find their way to Benz?
Well, some people, we are providing transportation. So we are going to gather at the Bayfront from 5:30 and then we leave. And if you live along the coast, you don't have to come to town. As we are going along, we'll pick up our attendees. So if you
Okay.
live in Salisbury, in Collyho, in Dubla,
St. Joe,
Portsmouth, St.
Portsmouth, yeah.
Joseph, Kenfield, you don't have to come into town. We just tell us where we are picking you up and we go along and we pick you up.
To pick you up.
Mhm.
Okay, and then if folks are coming like from Castlebrooks in that area, maybe they can. If it's there sufficient of them, we can coordinate it. Or otherwise, they find their way to Benz. It's worth it. People
Yeah.
find their way to everything else they want to go to.
Yes, and we could facilitate them, but I'll tell you, it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth the day. This Sunday is gonna be life changing for a lot of people. Anyone
I
who
can I
attends
can see
this
that.
retreat, it's gonna be life changing for them. Mm-hmm.
Eye opening in terms of what wow, I mean, I grew up in the country, so when you first wake up early morning, your mother gives you a cup of tea, whether it's Sinecotua or basilic or
Yeah,
something else, some other kind of leaf. So that's the first thing they tell you. You have to warm your stomach,
yeah,
and I guess that's how they interpreted it. But I heard you talk about making your body alkaline, but it
yeah.
worked, and then you have your breakfast later,
Late,
and
good.
so
Mm-hmm.
and that is how we grew up, but we lost touch of that a little bit. Life changed a lot. We don't walk as much, we don't
No,
carry as much load as we used to carry,
we don't.
and so some of the habits that we had back then, I will tell you that I live in New York, and we see a lot of our Caribbean people uh, succumbing to a lot of these non-communicable diseases, diabetes,
Mm-hmm.
hypertension, and so on. And I think one of the problems is that they eat the same way that they used to eat when they were back in the Caribbean, but the lifestyle is very different. And so they will
Yeah,
drive to work, or you sit at a desk, but you still want to eat the same
the
dashing
same food.
and
Yes,
plantains and
yes,
eat
yes,
three meals
yes.
a day and a big meal when you get home at 8 p.m. But we're carrying on that tradition from a time when people mostly used to farm and
Mm-hmm.
fish. And even if they used to work, say in Roseau, they'd be walking from Goodwill, go back to Goodwill for lunch, walk back to Roseau after lunch, and walk home in the evening. Now there's a lot less of that. And so folks have to, the type of retreat that you're having, it's getting folks to think, because sometimes you're just not aware. It's just not in your consciousness. So
Yeah, that's true.
being in that type of environment gets you thinking about that aspect of your life. How do people register for the retreat?
Okay, you could call 613-9175, or you could go to my kitchen 2025 at gmail.com, or also on shopdominico.dm, and you can register for.
Shopdominica.dm. Okay.
Yes. Mhm.
And they would find the retreat there.
Yes, it will.
Shopdominica.dm, or you
Mhm.
say what's
My
the email?
kitchen, my
My
kitchen
kitchen.
2025 at gmail.com. Send a
My
request and we
kitchen.
will get back to you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. at gmail.com. So folks, you have it. You can go to shop Dominica DM and find the retreat there. You could do mykitchen2025 at gmail.com, or you could call 767-613-9175 and register and really go out and have a day for yourself. If you can call that your birthday gift, even if your birthday is in August, you could
And
go
I
to that
agree.
retreat and make
I
that a
agree to
birthday
that.
gift to yourself, right? Because
Yeah.
what you will learn there. Go ahead.
Or Tony, I think maybe we could say being born again then.
Yeah, the beginning of a new life. No, but you said it, but it's
Yes,
true.
yes.
Because
Yeah.
being more deliberate about what we eat can
Mm-hmm.
actually be the start, the commencement of a new
New
kind
life.
of life.
Yeah.
Because folks have pain and they chop it down. When my knee, I just have a bad knee, or I just have a pain in my back, or and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they know it's because they're a little bit too heavy, but they're
Yeah.
busy going along their daily activities. They don't have the time to really sit down and put it together. And even if to put it together, they don't have the knowledge to put it together. So this is an opportunity where you can really dive deep and get a coach and get someone who can guide you to create a plan, and someone that you can call and say,
Mm-hmm.
I was doing good, but then for the Easter man, I just had to have whatever, and somebody's going to help you to get back on track and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and
So
I think it's a good thing you said about the coaching, because after the retreat we will follow up with all our attendants and we will guide them, guide them along to continue the journey.
yeah, because I can easily see that at the end of the day, folks are going to say, I got X, Y, and Z from, I learned about this food, I learned about this eating habit, I learned about,
Mm-hmm.
I did not know. And they'll definitely have to just say, so now that you have the knowledge, how are you going to apply it? And if you apply it, what do you expect as the result?
Correct.
And
Mm-hmm.
it sounded like it was that you put a lot of thought, a lot of effort into designing the retreat, and I hope that a lot of folks take advantage of the opportunity to learn, see it as an investment in yourself, and see yourself as deserving that investment. Right? If you're going to spend, the Creole Festival is coming up, and a season ticket for Creole Festival is hundreds of dollars. And you go into there and you still have to buy drinks, you have to buy an outfit, you lose sleep,
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of thing. Look at the retreat in that life. All right. Look at the retreat in that light and say, this is an investment in myself that's going to help me with my swollen ankle, that's going to help me with my hurting knee, that's going to help me with my arthritis. And with that knowledge, I can help my mother who has hypertension. I can help my father who has prostate issues. I mean, you
Yes.
can
Mm-hmm.
really, really, really get a lot of return from attending that event. So Anna, I want to thank you for bringing it, the opportunity to teach our people, and I want to wish you, My Kitchen, La Pain Creole Bakery, all the best. I hope this is not the last time that you're going to come and share with us all of this, just golden nuggets of information about wellness and food.
We'll be back. We'll follow up to the retreat, Tony. We'll let you know how it went, and maybe when we have the one in New York, we'll see you there.
You have one in New York. Awesome. Yeah, you're
Sure,
welcome. I
sure.
have some folks. I have some folks who watch This Week in Interview all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and they're huge on wellness, on
Okay.
longevity. They're huge on regenerative agriculture, all of those things. So you
So
have
we'll see you
you
guys there.
definitely we look forward to that.
Sure,
And so
sure.
all the best. Folks are asking where can you watch the show later. If you have Facebook, it will be on This Week in Interview Facebook page. You can replay it from there. Also on our YouTube channel, This Week in Interview YouTube channel, you can see it there. You can go to tdntv.net and go to the archives. You can see the past programs there as well. All right. So Martha, all the best. I say Martha, is your sister. Anna,
Anna.
all the best. Martha
Okay,
is who
Tony.
contacted me and told
Yeah.
me, yeah,
Okay.
Anna, all the best with this, and just keep growing from strength to strength. You know,
Thanks, and it was nice doing an interview with you tonight. Nice seeing you again.
very nice seeing you. All right, and take care. All the best,
Okay,
as I
thank
said.
you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Okay, bye bye. So, folks, there you have it. Just this wonderful initiative by Anna Winston Liberlin. She has her own bakery, La Pain Creole, where she makes bread. You can order your bread. She makes it on a Friday. You can pick it up either for your weekend or for your week. She makes cookies with using very little sugar, and different recipes and different ingredients. You should check that out as well. And she has this other aspect to her business that she calls My Kitchen, with a focus on helping people to make their kitchen their pharmacy, in that you can use your food to take care of any disease that you have, that can take care of any ailment, but not that can be preemptive, where you because you eat a certain way, you stave off arthritis and inflammation and aches and pains that we tend to associate with growing older, but it's really not a compulsory. And so she's having a retreat on April 13th. It's taking place in the beautiful village of Benz. You want to check it out, and it starts very, very early, 6:30 in the morning, and it goes all the way into evening. So it's packed, but it's not packed in a frenetic or haphazard kind of way. It's very deliberately laid out. There's time for yoga, time for relaxation, time for learning, time for reflection. And so you will have a beautiful day that you can invest in yourself. And so, folks, I encourage you to sign up. Her number is 767-613-9175, or you can send her an email at mykitchen2025@gmail.com. You can also find the retreat on shopdominica.dm. Do that for yourself. What you learn will extend not only to your health, but to the health of those in your circle. And you will be part of the movement that converts our people to a more healthy community, a more healthy population. So those of you who stayed with us, thank you so much for tuning in and every week. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the week. My folks in Dominica, stay strong. Let's hope that those of you who showed up today to express your rights, and on both sides of the argument, hopefully we can reach some amicable resolution where everybody feels somewhat satisfied. It's not possible to satisfy everybody, but both sides feel somewhat satisfied that the rule of law will prevail, in the sense that we will not have criminal disruption, but at the same time, we will not have violations of the Constitution. And that should really be the guide. If folks feel that what is in the Constitution is what is being reflected, then they don't have any leg to stand on to go protest. But if folks feel that the Constitution is being disregarded, then they have to go protest. But be careful, everyone. Hope that it can get resolved sooner rather than later. So, folks, good night. And I want to thank you to the team for putting this program together, and wish My Kitchen all the best on the retreat. Good night.